Okay.
Hmm.
I think it's recording now.
I usually get an icon that shows me, and the icon's not there. So I don't know.
Uh, I think I'm recording. Man, this is uh, technology, a blessing and a curse.
Yeah,
According to my
yeah.
screen, the recording is working because I have a button that says pause recording.
Okay.
So,
All right. And your
all
audio's a
right.
little bit scratchy too, but we'll just kick it off here. You know, it's our favorite time of the week again, and we are experiencing some technical difficulties a little
Technical
bit. So yeah, hang in there with us as we adjust some of the new services that we're trying to use. You know,
hmm,
that's not our forte. That's not we're not the most experienced of that. I'm lucky I can even sign up for this little podcast we do because yeah, not a computer guy. But once again, here we are. We got the hydro weight champion of the world, Harley Smith. I'm the organic mechanic with Kelp4less.com. And let's just throw this out there. We got an interesting question today about, we're getting that time of year. Everybody's trying to finish up their crops on a variety of crops. This is crunch time, right? This is, we want the fruits to fill. We want the flowers to fill. We want the roots to, for doing root crops to bulk up, just all kinds of stuff. And we had a question come into us that I really didn't have the answer to because I've never really thought about this or have any data supporting this, but it brought up some interesting topics. So the question is applying B vitamins at the end for, fruit protection for healthier fruit to keep fruit from cracking or splitting or just to finish up better. And, I discussed this a little bit and, I've never pigeonholed B vitamin for that purpose. But I do know a lot of products that we use, if you use biostimulants and everything me and Harvey talk about, a lot of our products do have B vitamins in there, like kelp. Kelp has, small amounts of B vitamin. Um, our liquid gold has small amounts of B vitamin. So even though we haven't pinpointed that exact, you know, um, process of B vitamins, I know we've been applying them. And anyway, I wanted to throw this over to Hardy, see if he has any experience with that. Hardy, what's kind of your concept?
yeah, well, remember plants are autotrophic. They make their own B vitamins. Okay, so I think really for what we used to think, let's put it this way. Back in the olden days, remember the Super Thrive,
Oh yeah,
that product? And they used to say, I remember watching, podcasts from Australia. Oh, use this, it prevents transplant shock. It promotes root growth. Well, that has been proven to be not necessarily true. The B vitamins don't really promote more root growth. Now, on the other hand, though, some of the B vitamin derivatives do go into the plant. Now, if you were to look at those roots under a microscope that were treated with B vitamins, you'd see that the root hairs are a little bit thicker. And if you were able to take and analyze the sap, you'd see that some of those B vitamin derivatives are in the plant. So the plant does take them up. But here's the thing, I think really the biggest benefit is twofold. One is it feeds the microorganisms. The B vitamins are necessary for some microorganisms to stimulate their metabolism. And if you're stimulating the metabolism of the microorganisms, they're feeding more efficiently on the exudates from the roots, and they're adding to some of the tolerances of the plant. Remember some of those volatile organic compounds we talked about last week from microbes literally turn on uh, up to 300 or more genes in the plant themselves. There's a communication going on. So yeah, the B vitamins may not have a direct effect on the plants as much as we used to think, but it may have an indirect effect because of the results of the metabolism of microbes in the root zone. And the other one on the other side of this is that high doses of B1 stimulate the plant's systemic induced response, the ISR. It primes the plant so that if the plant is under attack or under stress, the plant's natural immune system responds more quickly. So that might be what they're thinking is that
Okay.
we're activating the immune system of the plant so that it could respond more quickly if under attack. So there might be something to it, but I've never used it that way. I have used the B vitamins small amounts sometimes if there's a problem in the soil, let's say overly dried up, plants were wilting. I might want to re-inoculate my roots with microbes. I might want to add a little B vitamins with it at the same time just to kind of prime the pump and get them going. But once everything is in balance again, you really don't need to keep adding it, in my opinion. So I don't know if that answered it. I don't know if I have an answer, but let's kind of play a little detective with how B vitamins work. And by the way, some of the B vitamin products I've seen out there have magnesium sulfate as a
Hmm.
carrier, and the magnesium itself helps to unlock some of uh, the energy from ATP when the phosphates bonds are cleaved. So that does
Hmm.
have. So I'm wondering how much is the B vitamins effect and how much is the magnesium effect?
Yeah,
Those
good point.
effects.
Yeah, and we could probably use that same argument when we're applying kelp. You know, how much of that B vitamin profile in the kelp extracts is, versus, everything else that's in kelp. So, what I can't see any reason that it would harm anything or hurt anything. Um,
Hmm.
and maybe it's something I can do some experiments with, just to see. Wintertime slows down, and it's a good time to do silly little experiments. So we could give that a try. But I want to go back to a statement you said about the B vitamins being a microbial food. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
feeding the microbes. I'm sorry, my cat has jumped up here, so if we get some crazy things going on, it's shop kidders. Shop kidders is trying to steal the shop. She'll probably jump up on my back here in a minute. Settle down, shop kidders. But boy, where was I going? Oh, microbial food. So we talk about that a lot. All this microbial food, and I mean, just like a smorgasbord, a buffet of microbial foods that we use. The biostimulants, this and that and the other, and when it, with all these different food sources, will that interfere with the microbial relationship with the exudates that are coming from the plant, the sugars from the plant? Would too much food distract them from the root zone?
Hmm. Interesting way of thinking about it. Um, toward the toward the end of the grow, when the plants are finishing up and they're not doing as much photosynthesis anymore, they're using their stored sugars. Plants start to hoard their carbohydrates. You want to store them in the fruit. You want to store them in the seed for the next generation. So they stop leaking as much of the exudates to feed the microorganisms. So the microorganisms start to go dormant, which is a good thing because they go to dormant. Then the next spring, the, they come back with the food source again. They follow when the roots are going through and feeding them again. Start the next generation. Um, so that's So the plant is not feeding the microorganisms as much. It's starting to shut down that process. That's where again we use the cane molasses at the end sometimes too. So we can
Oh yeah.
feed the we can feed the microbes when the microbes stop, um, or when the plant stops feeding them. So yeah,
We
but then
talked
there
about that a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, just a couple episodes ago, we talked about that. Yeah, the pros and cons aspect of that.
right. I did experiments. We're going to cane molasses instead of B vitamins, but did experiments years ago where I tested different carbohydrate sources and adding them to a hydroponics solution. And I found that at least during vegetative growth, all of the extra sugars that I was adding had a negative effect on the plant
Mm-hmm.
in
Yeah.
hydroponics at that
Yep.
stage, because
Yeah.
then I was creating a bloom of microorganisms. I was also giving the microorganisms the denitrifiers a competitive advantage. So so the nitrates were being drawn down very quickly in the nutrient solution because the microbes are using them instead.
Mm-hmm.
And they were converting the nitrates to nitrites, which are toxic to plants. So through my experiments, the control without the sugars work better than the ones with it. So again, there's a balance. If you're overfeeding the sugars, the microbes need carbon. That's from the sugar, but they also need nitrogen. And where are they going to get it? If they take it
Mm-hmm.
away from the plant when the plant needs it, it has a negative effect.
Yeah.
Now
Yep.
in
And
soil,
our
it was
previous
different
podcast,
because
I mean, we went into big detail on that too. So if you haven't heard of that before, search through some of our previous podcasts because Harley does a way deep dive into it.
yeah. Now soil's a little different though because the form of nitrogen from the amino acids and from is in the more of the ammonium form of nitrogen, not the nitrate. And then the microorganisms convert the ammonium into nitrites, nitrites into nitrates. Plants take them up. So it isn't. It's not going to be as dramatic of a problem in soil as it would be in hydroponics. And most of the agronomists out there will tell you that the main benefits of the cane molasses isn't the sugar; it's the iron and the minerals that are in there. That becomes more available to the plant. The plant takes up the iron; it's able to use that to make chlorophyll, and so the plant can make its own sugars. Not so much of the sugars going up in there. So it feeds the microbes and it aids with iron uptake so the plant can make more sugars to feed the microbes. So there's a nice little cycle going on there. And B vitamins are could be part of that process, but as a coenzyme for cellular metabolism, it only takes a very small amount of the B
Mm-hmm.
vitamins to do the
Yeah.
job, and they're not used up in the process of metabolism. They can be used over and over and over again. So just adding more is probably not, once you're at a good sustainable level, probably not increasing the uh, the function of the plants very much, if at all.
Yeah. Yeah. And that reminds me, you have such detailed information. One viewer wants to know if you'll write a book. And I was thinking about that. Yeah, we could write this book, call it The Hydro Weight Champion of the World, Harley Smith. And have you ever thought about that? Because like, if that's something you would like to do in your spare time, we could start a GoFundMe and see if who we could get to donate to have you write this book. And boy, I'll tell you what, that would be a hot topic. I mean, boy, people would just you know be crazy, going crazy to get their hands on it. Have you ever thought about that?
Uh, yeah, that was something on my back of my mind for years. Well, when I retire, I'll just write a book, and I still might, but my interests in retirement are going in so many different directions right now. I've been going way back, going into plant physiology and plant biology just for the fun of it, just to
Mm,
really understand more of the how the plant works at the molecular level and at the larger level too. And that's more that kind of research is not so much applied. I was doing
mm.
research and development. I had to develop new products, you know. But in research, I kind of love the research part, but that's just for my own pleasure. So
Mhm.
I'm, I don't know. Maybe as I go along, I can maybe tie in a little of both. Get some a little more of the plant science, and then back off and say, well, here's how to apply it in your own garden or in your own greenhouse. How to
Well,
work with the plant or work with nature in an
hey,
intelligent way.
that sounds like good subject matter to me. I'm sure I'm sure everybody you've helped would donate some if we can just get a big group, a big crowd, a GoFundMe account. Um, I I think it may support your time to get that done. Something to think about.
Yeah. I've been thinking about, yeah, writing. I should get back into writing. Remember, I've written a lot of articles over the years. Back
Hmm.
when Maximum Yield magazine was there, I was a monthly contributor for over a year. Every month,
Hmm.
they put one of my feature articles in
Hmm.
for a while there. So I like to write. Um,
Hmm.
I don't know. We'll see. Maybe. I was thinking maybe taking some of my lectures, at least as a starting point, like on biostimulants, for example, or on microbes, and just kind of do a transcription, kind of follow along my PowerPoints, but write them out, and then add some pictures and graphics and things to help explain it, and then maybe expand on some of the concepts. That would be great in a book,
Hmm.
better than just
Oh
because some of the stuff that you can use words don't really get it, where if you're seeing a diagram, you're seeing the flow, it will have more. Oh, my birthday's coming up this month. I'm going to be
oh
69
yeah.
years old. Yep.
All right.
And my last year in the 60s. And I'm going to buy an updated version of my favorite plant physiology book because it has a new section on energetics, which I've been really getting into lately with
Hmm.
the relationships in photosynthesis and respiration and how the energy is transferred through the soil and through the system of growing. So that's going to be my birthday present to myself is a new textbook, updated textbook.
Well, great. Yeah, and with all the social media, a lot of people don't like to announce when their birthday is. So anyway, we'll do a birthday podcast. We'll have a birthday party for Harley.
Yeah, hey, let's have a party.
Yeah.
Everybody's invited. Invite your friends. We're going to have a party.
Yeah, you should do one of those big group like you do with your lessons. Everybody can come to the birthday party. That would be fun.
Okay. Yeah, we're getting a little off topic here, but yeah, there may be some books in the future, or at least some articles, maybe some new articles, because I have articles and things that go with my lectures, as material, so they can download them and they can read them later.
Oh yeah.
But maybe just add some new articles to my own website, or to give it access through your website too, if you wanted to some of those materials.
Yeah,
Of
those would
course,
be
I won't
great
make
to
any
have,
money
Harley.
that way. But giving it away,
Those
I
would,
don't really make any money. But I'm retired. What do I need? Food,
yeah,
medicine, taxes. That's about it.
and nutrients, growing supplies.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know
Uh,
what? Anything you need, let me know. It'll be in the mail for you.
okay. Yeah, food. Send me soup, cans of soup. That would be good.
Okay. Okay. We can do that too. I was focused on like plant nutrients and
Oh,
biostimulants and
plant
stuff.
nutrients. Oh, yeah.
Nutrition, plant
Yeah, I can
nutrition.
grow well, plant nutrients even better because then I can grow my own food and make my own soup.
There we go. Now that's retirement right there. Have fun doing it too. Yeah, boy, we sure went sideways quite a bit on this on this one. But again, this is kind of an experiment we're doing with the new. We got some new stuff going on, some connectivity things. So hopefully this turns out and it was enjoyable. And keep the questions coming. We'll keep throwing them out there and see what Harley says about
Okay. Well,
it. So,
we'll do the best we can.
that's right.
Let's see.
That's right.
Any last thoughts? Stress tolerance at the end. I still think anything you do to keep the microbes going is going to have the most of positive effect on the plants at the end of their cycle. And the microbes themselves provide some stress tolerance as well. So,
Absolutely. See it all the time. All
I'm
the time.
thinking that in general, whatever you can do at the end there with your kelp, with your humic and fulvic, and now you believe in using kelp all the way to the end, don't you?
I do.
Or do you
Uh-huh.
stop using it?
No, 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 no. Absolutely. Just start trimming it down at the end. Start.
Yeah.
We don't want to create unwanted things. But just don't overdo anything. That's kind of our rule. But
Yeah.
kelp's another good microbial feeder. Kelp has a humic acid aspect to it. Um, Believe it or not, if you actually analyze a lot of the kelps out there, they have a percentage of humic acid in it already. And so, yeah, just start trimming that stuff down. Don't overdo it, and yeah, you don't want to cause any unexpected additional growth sometimes at the end, or things like that. So, yeah, I'm a fan of that. We do it all the time. Absolutely.
Hmm. Yeah, we'll cut back on nutrients because they
Mm-hmm.
don't need them as much. They have
Mm-hmm.
enough stored to finish. But I did have a question that we're out of time here, but I did have a question this week about using trace elements at the end. And I'm a believer in that too. If all you're going to do is add a very small charge of nutrient, make sure you have, especially iron, and some of the other trace elements that are less mobile in the plant, so that they continue to express those genes all the way to the day of harvest and bulk up and
Yeah,
keep
good
it
point.
photosynthetically active to the end. Okay, well, I guess that's it for today. We'll see if
Hopefully,
this recording even turns out.
yeah, hopefully it turns out. And yes, send it off. Send it off. We'll get her on there.
Okay, and I'll be starting my next round of classes on October 1st, my next Master Grower
Okay.
short course. So if you could help me out there, I'll send you the info, and you'll send out send out a link or something, send out an
Yeah.
announcement to all of our
Yep.
friends out there. And I'm
Absolutely.
also going to send out an announcement to the giant pumpkin growers who I've been hanging out with this summer. See if I can get the word out there a little bit. See if we can fill up a class next for the fall.
Okay. Yeah. Send it over. We'll put that on our email, our weekly email that goes out, and keep raising awareness.
Okay. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Pleasure as always.
All right. Thanks again, Harley. Take care.
Bye.
Hey, we're still there.
Yeah, I know.